For the very first time in its long and illustrious history, the FIA Karting European Championships visit Slovakia for the very first time. Over 200 drivers from 36 nations across 3 platforms, OK, OKJ and Academy, are all here to do battle on the 3rd event of the season. Up until this point, the championships couldn't be any closer, with the high level of competition being displayed across the 3 categories. No one really knows what to expect. The Slovak Karting Center requires 100% focus from every driver, as one small mistake could have championship-damaging results. With so much at stake in Slovakia, the drivers are really going to have to dig deep to find the determination, the speed and courage to get them through the penultimate round of the championships. Max's tyres and P1 fuel have once again proved to be a vital asset to the drivers, with soaring temperatures expected to hit the track over the weekend. The drivers will have to stay focused and hydrated over the course of that, but thanks to Formula Medicine, the drivers get a great insight of how to stay on their game. With just Sweden left on the calendar, Slovakia is going to be one of, if not the most important rounds for the drivers this season. Let's take a lap of the Slovak Karting Center with local driver Alex Mota. It's a short run into turn 1 with the main straight only being 220 meters. Out of T1, give it a short burst of power as you negotiate the tight turn 2 as you head into the double apex of turns 3 and 4. Another short run and you reach turns 5 and 6. A good exit here is needed as you head down the 150 meter back straight. Going into turn 7, you have to be brave on the brakes as an overtake here is very likely. After that, there's no time to rest as you're straight into the next sector. Turns 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 all arrive before you've even had time to think. The off-camber double hairpin of 11 and 12 being the hardest part of the track. Still no time to rest, turn 13, 14 and 15 come up quick. Vital to get a good exit here as you end the lap at the Slovak Karting Center. The FIA Karting Academy Trophy once again has had the closest championship fight we've ever seen. After round 1 in France at Val d'Argenton, no one had any idea what to expect heading to Slovakia, with both Jakub Gasparovic and Dan Aleman being joint on 55 championship points going into round 2. With the home favourite and championship leader not having the best results, Gasparovic would be starting further down in the field, which would mean that Belgium's Gilles Herman and Finland's Joel Tapale would be starting on the front row of the grid. But with such a challenging track ahead of the field of 36, no one had any idea who would come out on top in the penultimate round. The start of the 22-lap final was mostly incident-free for the main pack, as the inside line got the jump at the start with Herman, Menezes and Staciones getting the early advantage. Yuri Levar would be the first to fall foul of the tight turn 1 as he was out on opening lap. More drama would unfold later as another 4 drivers would retire on the opening lap. Gabera from Brazil, El Homassani of Egypt, Marcella from Italy and Wyszymierska from Poland. With the amazing work from the marshalling team, the track stayed green as the race continued, which allowed Menezes to gain the lead on lap 2. Then Lilian Suarez of France found himself in the barriers on lap 5 at turn 5, the young driver crashing out from P20. With a 5-kart train now forming at the front, it was clear that the pace from Menezes was slowly starting to fade as Gilles Herman retook the lead on lap 6. That move then forced the group behind into their own battle, with Matoda of Japan going wheel-to-wheel with the attacking Joel Tapale of Finland, which unfortunately ended in disaster, with both drivers ending up in the gravel on the exit of turn 7 on lap 6 of the final. The incident leaving both drivers frustrated and heartbroken as they head to Sweden for the final round. Lap 9 and eyes were focused on the battle for 4th place. After the previous incident, Arnaldo from Argentina was now into P4. Rian Dasa had a scary moment at turn 7, going too deep on the brakes and nearly collecting Turner Brown. Emilio Byrne was now starting to gain places nearing the midway point of the race. The driver from Germany going for the move at turn 7 to get up into P5. Fellow championship leader heading into the weekend, Dan Aleman, was finding the racing in Slovakia challenging, forcing the Swiss driver to really dig deep. With a gain of 11 places in the final, it was all coming together for the young driver. Later, Byrne and Brown would both find the gap past Arnaldo as he moved up through the field at the midway point of the race. Then it was the turn of the Lithuanian Noju Stasionis as he tried to gain the place on Menezes at turn 7, which didn't go his way. Lap 18 and it would be take 2 for Stasionis, getting into P2 at turn 4. Byrne would follow after catching the 2 ahead and moving up into the top 3. A few corners later, Brown and Aleman would both gain places, getting past Menezes into P4 and 5. With a handful of laps left, it was all about defending for Stasionis, as Emilio Byrne was on full attack. But with time running out, the door was firmly closed for P2. Unaware of all the drama behind, Belgian's Gilles Herman was set for his first win of the season, which in turn promoted him to the top of the championship standings at the end of the penultimate round. With just Sweden left to go, the Belgian is looking strong. The top 10 after Slovakia is Gilles Herman from Noju Stasionis and Turner Brown. Jakub Gasparovic recovered to 4th place ahead of Martin Menezes, Vian Boshoff, Rian Dasa, Emilio Byrne, Fastão Arnaldo and Dan Aleman. After a post-race penalty, Turner Brown for the USA was promoted to P3, but for Gilles Herman and Noju Stasionis, it would be a great end to the weekend as the drivers head to Sweden for the final round of the championship.
And France, the start of the final was not so good. And then here, everything goes good. Hopefully I win Sweden and then I'm champion.
It was definitely better compared to France. Here the pace was just really well. I kind of believed in myself more than I did in France. And I was just really happy with the performance that I had. And the pace was amazing. Yeah, pretty much that's all. It was actually my first podium overall during my whole career back here in Italy or in Academy. So I'm really happy with the performance. I think I'm pretty confident. What I think if I get a top 3 in Sweden, I think I will be also top 3 in the championship. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I really hope that I will maybe win or get a top 3 in Sweden.
I wouldn't call it difficult, I actually call it learning. I think that I've learned so much over the course of my academy experience, and France, we were super quick throughout the practice, and just didn't have the luck during the heats, but here we really strung together a fight back weekend and we were able to get a good podium result at the end of it. I think that I will spend preparation for Christians that I'm super excited for racing back home in the United States, and I think my physical is going to be, I think I'm going to train a lot and hopefully I have my physical and my racing down for Christians at Sweden and we can get another podium or a win.
The FIA Karting European Championship for OKJ had been the most dramatic and challenging season we've seen for some years, with the field being filled with so many competitive drivers. With Spain being dominated by Dries Van Langendonck and France being a close shave for Jacopo Martinez, the fight was definitely on as the championship headed to Slovakia. As the sun was beating down on the drivers, tension was starting to build as championship favourite Dries Van Langendonck was set to start from the front row, with Austria's Nicolas Schaufler starting alongside. With the 2 Italians of Filippo Sala and Jacopo Martinez starting on the second row, the final was set to be a true test of skill and determination. The start of the race, and it was a clean getaway for the whole grid. Van Langendonck held on to the lead going into turn 1, having to fend off Filippo Sala, who had just gotten up into second place. Schaeffler slotted into third, with Jacopo Martinez dropping to P7 on the opening lap. The winner from France was now struggling. Jol Pokela from Finland had a good start, getting into P4 on the way into turn 2. Action was close at the front as drivers trying to find weaknesses in the early stages of the race, but at the end of the opening lap, Van Langendonck was leading. More drama unfolded for Jacopo Martinez in the opening stages of the race. The Italian from the second row had dropped to P16 by lap 2. Schaeffler then began to attack, getting past Sala at turn 7, which had been a hotspot for overtakes all weekend. Pokela then followed a couple of corners later, moving up into third place past Sala, but it was one step forward and 2 steps back as Pokela lost out to Kamiab and Kraling on the exit of turn 12, which then bunched the pack up even more. Kamiab's pace in the early stages was good, getting past his teammate Sala for P3 on lap 4. Pokela, who had fallen down the order, now had backup in the form of his teammate Scott Marsh, both on the attack into turn 7, getting past Kraling, but Marsh getting caught out, allowing podium finisher in France Rocco Coronel to sneak through past them both, which also allowed William Kalija and Bosco Arias to close in. Lap 7 and Roman Kamiab's pace was second to none, as he would not only catch but also get past Schaeffler for P2. One lap later and Schaeffler looked to be in trouble, as now Jol Pokela had started to close in and got past at turn 12. The train then started to form and Filippo Sala would be the next driver to get past, closely followed by Rocco Coronel. Kalija also tried to get past but was shown the commitment by Schaeffler, who was clearly frustrated at the time and denies the opportunity, which allows the drivers behind to close in and the drivers ahead to break away. The battle for 4th place was the fight everyone was watching. Sala's lead of the 4th place battle was coming to an end, with Rocco Coronel sending it into turn 5, moving up into P4. Schaeffler followed with Bosco Arias, William Kalija and Scott Marsh, meaning Sala was back in P9. The fight wasn't over yet, with Schaeffler absolutely sending it into turn 7 on Coronel, which then put Arias into 4th, followed by Kalija, as Coronel started to tumble down the order, which caused a ripple effect all the way down the order. While the battle for 4th place raged on, the 2nd place battle was heating up, as Pokela had closed in on Roman Kamiab. Everyone thought the two might work together to close up to Van Langendonck in the lead, but Pokela, who hadn't made the final appearance yet this season, was now in 2nd place, hunting down the championship leader, with time quickly running out. Unfortunately for Devon Waltz, his race was over on lap 16, after what looked to be a failure of the rear axle, causing his wheel to fall off. With the race nearing the end, Pokela had closed in on the championship leader Dries Van Langendonck, and on the penultimate lap, he attempted the move into turn 12 to no luck. It then put Kamiab in a prime position to take 2nd place away into turn 15 as they entered the final lap of the race. With Van Langendonck clear, Pokela was desperate to get back into P2, but after a misjudgment at turn 5, he hands the place back again as the two continue to race hard, finishing millimetres apart at the finish line. But Dries Van Langendonck would be victorious, taking his 2nd win of the season and now leading by 69 championship points ahead of Jacopo Martinez as the paddock heads to Sweden to end the season with a bang. The top 10 at the end of the junior final is Dries Van Langendonck ahead of Roman Kamiab and Jol Pokela, followed by Jacopo Martinez, Scott Marsh, William Kalija, Ian Kraling, Bosco Arias, Nicolas Schaeffler and Henry Domain. For his first appearance in a final this year, Jol Pokela receives a well-deserved 3rd place. For Kamyab, it's his best result of the season, and for Van Langendonck, it's his second win of the championship.
Definitely a really good feeling. I really needed this one after a weekend like that. Obviously, I knew we had the pace there. It's just this track is difficult when you don't get the qualifying right, and that showed that weekend. Also a bit of bad luck comes with it, but yeah, it's really nice redemption today. Really hard race, obviously. Longest 22 laps, I think, of my life. I think the same approach, just trying to win the race and yeah, try and secure the championship as well. But we'll see when we head to Slovakia, to Kristiansand. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm really proud of myself. After 1.5 years of doing OK Junior, I finally managed to get on the podium. I think me and the team did a really good job, and yeah, I'm really happy with myself. Yeah, I mean, they're a very good team. We were trying everything this week so I could get on the podium, which we did. In practicing, we were trying a few chassis. We finally got the right one. And yeah, I had loads of pace in the final, so I managed to pop up in front of my teammate Filippo Sala and get to second.
Of course I'm proud, but the FIAs this year haven't been the best races. I have had some bad luck with also some own mistakes, and I think that now, like, I showed my true potential that I'm capable of, and like have not been capable to show it this year before. I think we are getting forward with the team, and I think that it's just gonna get better, and we're gonna be more consistent with the results and everything, and get everything more right. And I think we have got the setup and everything working, and now I think everything is going really well with the team.
Yeah, really good weekend for all the drivers. Good pace all the weekend. Obviously, Dries, fantastic win. A lot harder than we thought we were going to be in the final. The last 10 laps was hell and went on forever. But yeah, great weekend for all the drivers. And Louis Werrell in OK and Simic. Fantastic for all of us.
The FIA Karting European Championships for OK has been a battle of the Italian teams. After a victorious round for CRG at Spain with Gomez and the raw passion from Kart Republic in France with Joe Turney, it was set to be a thrilling third round, with everyone wondering who would come out on top at the end in Slovakia. With the season nearly at an end, this round couldn't be more important for so many drivers, and for the field, it was a brand new front row. Thibaut Ramaekers, who was starting on pole, certainly had to work hard for it, as second on the grid was Noel Montero, who was only one intermediate classification point behind after the heats. Luis Iglesias would be starting on the second row, with current championship leader Joe Turney starting P4. Thibaut Ramaekers' first move came before the start of the race, with him choosing to swap sides of the grid. Conspiracy was filling the paddock as rumours started to flow as to why. Nonetheless, it was a good start for Ramaekers as he broke away. Drama would unfold behind as Turney and Iglesias would lock wheels, which then forced Morgato off the track and nowhere to go. That moment would cause a concertina effect down the line, meaning lap 1 retirements for Bondarev, Drummond, Consani, Volta and championship contender Gabriel Gomez in a shocking opening lap for many. The race would continue, with Ramaekers and Montero leading by nearly 2 seconds from the rest of the field. But with so many top contenders off the track, everyone was wondering what had happened. The replay here tells the story, but with so many screaming racing incidents, it would fall to the hands of race control and the stewards. But a broken chassis for Morgato meant he would fall down the order, but not out of the race, with all the others getting caught out in another incident. More retirements would follow, with Kai Rillarts and Freddie Lloyd out on lap 3. With the race now getting back on form, Turney would lose out on P3 from Matviev after a move into turn 12. It would bring Jimmy Elias into play and a wildcard Scott Lindblom, with both of them trying to get the move done a lap later. Lindblom took an extra lap to get the move done, but with the wildcard stepping up into the senior category for the first time as he looks to 2025. With all the overtakes, it caused the field to close up, with Finn McLaughlin and David Cosma gaining places. A lap later and the championship leader was falling further down the order as McLaughlin would get past at turn 12. Everyone started to wonder if Turney had picked up any damage from the earlier incident on the opening lap. Then Leo Nielsen started to come alive in the race, another Kart Republic driver aiming for the podium. First looking at turn 1 and then at turn 12, another hotspot for overtaking. All the meanwhile, Ramaekers was leading the way, completely unaware of all the action that was happening behind him in the field. A jump forward and Elias was closing in on Matviev for third place. The last spot of the podium was still at play, with Lindblom still closing in behind. Nilsson back on the attack, and this time on McLaughlin at turn 12, the driver from Sweden showing true determination nearing the end of the race. The last lap, and clear by nearly 4 seconds, Thibaut Ramaekers became the third different final winner in the 2024 season and moving himself up in the championship standings in his first year as a senior driver. His win in Slovakia means the title fight goes to the final round in Sweden. The top 10 at the end of the OK final is Thibaut Ramaekers ahead of Noah Montero and Dmitry Matviev, followed by Jimmy Elias, Scott Lindblom, Leo Nielsen, Joe Turney, Finn McLaughlin, Miguel Costa and Yuka Poe. With this top 3 finish, the championship stays alive for Turney and Gomez as we head to Sweden. But for Matviev, Montero and Ramaekers, they can leave Slovakia with a smile on their faces after a job well done.
Yeah, in the Super 8, I was leading in the last lap with I think 1.2 seconds, and after my coach said to me to let pass Joe for the championship, so I let pass him, and like this he win and me I was second. It doesn't matter for the overall, so yeah, I do it. Yeah, I was really happy because I think I make the perfect race, I make a good start. After I make a big gap, like with I think 3.6 seconds. So it's really good, and I want to take my mechanic, VDK, RCB and Cetila Racing and KR. Sorry.
The whole weekend's been quite good, getting the pole in the start of the weekend. The heats were also very good. We won a bunch of them, and the Super Heat also. We had an unfortunate DNF, which thrown us off in a points to start in the final. The rest felt quite good in the final, just didn't have the exact pace compared to the guy in first. For the rest of the grid was okay, but just missing out. Yeah, hopefully we can be as fast as we're here in Sweden. I know the track is quite good, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully try to get the win and then move forward for the World Champs, which we will also like to get a win.
The weekend was great from the beginning, had a good pace on practice sessions, and we could make it great to the quali as well. Got P3 in my group, and then the heats were just great as well. Unfortunately, I had a DNF, which kind of turned me down on the starting grid a little bit, so that was the only thing I was worried coming to the final, because I've always been quite confident on the new tire, and the starting lane from 8th outside lane is always risky, to be honest, but just had to send it and got a great start and just had to continue pushing all the way through just to get the podium.
Yeah, we are very proud to see the progress Thibaut made since the start of the year and be able to win already a CIK race with him, even though we have already achieved quite some great results before. But the CIK race is always a big step forward to the other races of the season. So we have
With only one round remaining for Academy, OKJ and OK, we still don't know who will be crowned champion in the Academy Trophy. Gilles Herman's results means that he has a real chance at the title as he leads heading into Sweden. Dries Van Langendonck extends his lead heading into the final round after taking his second final win of the season. But he's not out of the woods, as both Martinez and Kamyab have a chance to close in.
3, 2, 1, let it rip!
And in the OK category, Ramaekers takes his first senior win in FIA Karting, making it a Belgian triple crown in all three classes. The championship is still all to play for between Turney, Gomez and Morgato. We'll just have to wait until the FIA Karting European Championships heads to Sweden.